This video is sponsored by War Thunder, but more on that a little bit later. Today we're diving back into LoreRim with our part 2 review. I've had plenty of time to play through the mod list at this point, and I've got plenty of tips and tricks to help you have a better experience with this mod pack. To catch you all up to speed, LoreRim is a Wabberjack mod list created by Biggie Boss, and for those who don't know what Wabberjack is, it's a program that allows you to download curated mod lists. This one has over 3,500 mods, it's themed to be lore friendly with a modern take on combat. You can expect challenging gameplay, immersive roleplay, and stunning visuals. The mod pack's been constantly updated and supported by Biggie, and the footage here is version 2.2, with 3.0 being slated for Q1. This is LoreRim. The combat remains the best I've experienced in both first and third person, and it includes my favourite mod of 2024, the Dismembering Framework. As you can probably tell, I've had tons of fun with this mod, and sending heads rolling just never seems to get old. Recently I've been favouring first person, but it does depend on the playstyle and character I'm playing. Hand to hand, for example, was way more interesting in third person, with some flashy kick combos, whereas my barbarian or paladin just felt a little bit more satisfying in first person. Ultimately, you can't go wrong with either perspective, both feel great and unique here. Oh, and performance has also been drastically improved on since the last time we reviewed the mod list. Thanks to Doodlem's new DLLA mod, I'm at 60 FPS without frame gem in the majority of areas now. There's also performance profiles set up in Mod Organizer 2, should you not have a beefy rig to play the mod pack on, so you don't have to feel like you need a NASA PC in order to play. You do, however, require Skyrim Anniversary Edition, and a Nexus Premium account is recommended for a smooth installation. This is due to Nexus throttling the download speeds and limits without Premium. This is the same for any auto-installed mod list and is no way due to the mod list author. So if you're going to complain to Nexus. Now that you're all installed and good to go, let's talk about getting started. LoreRim comes with the alternative start mod, so say goodbye to the vanilla carriage ride as it's buggy as hell with this amount of mods. Before we can select a starting location, however, we need to create our very own character. It's important that you have an idea of what type of character you want to play, as racial bonuses and passives in LoreRim are custom tweaked Requiem. For this example, we're going to build a Breton paladin. Bretons get passive magic resistance and even absorb spells. There's plenty of presets that you can also choose if you don't like any of the normal sliders and you just want to get something going. We added my own Waylander preset here, which is not included, but there are plenty of great presets for you to try. We're going to just quickly fine tune what we want here and then get cooking. There'll be some scripts and prompts running. Once they chill out, head over to the statue and select a starting location. If you want a smooth and easy start, I highly recommend Breeze Home in Whiterun. Not only is it a fantastic revamped player home, but serves as a great starting point for early game leveling, which with some of the methods that I'll be showing you in this video, will help you get to level 7 before you even get into combat. And speaking of combat, War Thunder is a vehicle-based combat game with thousands of tanks, choppers, jets, and ships of 10 real-life nations, from vintage classics of the 1920s to the modern-day fighter jets of today, with intense combat to immerse yourself in, top-notch graphics and authentic sounds that place you right in the action of the most powerful war machines of our time. Join a worldwide community of over 70 million players in PvP and blow stuff up with your mates. It's top quality content for those who love a bit of military history. And my personal favourite feature is of course customizing my very own war machines, and everybody knows the true endgame is the fashion, and there's tons of ways to get the look that you want, from camouflages and historical markings to community created pieces. If you sign up or return after not playing for 6 months using my link in the description and pinned comment, you'll get some digital goodies to give you a head start. 3 premium vehicles, 100k Silver Lions, XP and income boosters, and 7 days premium, which is a limited time offer for PC and console. War Thunder is available on PC, Xbox, PlayStation and mobile, so blow some shit up today. So here we are in our very own home in the centre of Whiterun. Before we head out, let's make our character even more unique with the Daggerfall trait system. You can access this from the medical history item in your inventory. Once we're here, select traits and select trait 1. Now how this works is you have points to spend, but you need to also get detriments in order to gain points. So if we look at our bonuses here, what we want to aim for is magic resistance, which says minus 10 points. So when we take that, we now need to make up those 10 points. So let's have a look at a detriment on trait 2 here. I'm thinking that maybe we go with Forbidden to gain some extra points here. if we want to like maybe not use daggers or bows, it will reduce some points here. -2, so we're now at -8. Let's look for something a little bit more girthy now though. Stunted growth. This gives us 6 points, but we have less regen by 50% across the board. Now we only need -2, so let's just build up 2 extra points by making us not use axes. See, 0 points. We no longer need to select trait 5. Now we've gained 40% magical resistance on top of our Breton's 20%, leading to 60% right at level 1. That is insane. I love the immersive interaction mods that show you picking up things, opening doors, etc. It's little things like this that really add to the immersion. Hunger and other survival mechanics are also included and can be turned off by the default gameplay settings menu. Just untick the survival option if it's not your thing. The NPCs have some of the best overhauls that I've ever seen, with lots of unique clothing for iconic characters, and as I've mentioned before, not every NPC is a supermodel. People look how you expect them to. That doesn't mean that pretty people don't exist. They're just absolutely not everywhere like some of the modelists can lean towards. Even the clutter has been worked on, from detailed patterns on clay pots to braids of bread, and the ominous glow of soul gems and potions stacked upon shelves, begging to be scooped up into an adventurer's backpack. Once you've got your bearings and had a wander around Whiterun, I'd recommend heading to Dragon's Reach to pick a handy leveling item. It's a spell book hidden in Farangar's study that will allow you to read books at a mass scale within a certain distance of the player. This is useful early on so you can obtain some XP from reading books. Spam this all around Dragon's Reach, including the Jarl's Chambers, to get a hefty amount of XP before you head off to Winterhold to join the college and gain access to the main hall and library. If it's not obvious why we're here, it's to read all the books that we can and pick up some useful items. Once we become a member of the college and receive our novice robes, we can head to the main hall and grab and read basically everything here, and then you can sell what you don't want to use. You might notice that you've got some spell vouchers in your inventory from joining the college. You can cash them in with the Orc Librarian. He offers some great starter spells for you to study before leveling up. Let's talk about the leveling process. Once you've acquired enough XP, rest somewhere to get the level up prompt. This brings up a menu where you can assign skill points towards the skills that you wish to invest in. I recommend picking 4 major skills to focus on first. Hitting higher breakpoints for expert and master spells, for example, are level gated to 25 for expert and 50 for master. So until you hit those character level requirements, it's best to work on other skills and even things out while slowly building towards those milestones. If you're planning on wearing heavy armor, it is mandatory that you take at least the first perk, conditioning, so that you can wear heavy armor without draining your stamina. There's also penalties to sprinting, mana cost and power attacks unless you have the relevant perks to counter them. Magic school progression nodes such as Novice and Apprentice will grant you the option to select 2 spells, which I think is a fantastic gameplay choice and helps your build develop naturally. Optimizing my early game progression was incredibly satisfying for me, and once Biggie has wrapped up on 3.0, I fully intend to make a full build guide for my Paladin of Stendarr. There's also a subclass system with the Destiny custom skill tree. This allows you to refine your playstyle and lead towards a subclass with a final perk node. You can only acquire 7 points of this skill tree, and points are gained at level 2, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 and 30. The nodes tend to get more impactful the further into the skill tree, and you can reset your choices at the cost of a hefty amount of gold by activating the Destiny power found in your magic menu. Winter Sun Faith of Skyrim is also included and has some custom tweaks such as limiting your meditation to twice per day to avoid some exploits with certain deities. This faith system has you choose a deity shortly after character creation. Options are limited to your race, but you should find books referencing other deities if you wish to switch. There's bonuses and rules to maintaining your faith, and I highly recommend that you check out the Winter Sun mod page for a more detailed look. I wanted to briefly showcase some endgame encounters that you can look forward to. Disclaimer here, my Paladin is designed to be a brick wall of tankiness, and the resource regen here is incredibly min-max for this. This fight is a hidden boss called the Night Matron, which you completely miss if you don't engage with it, and has some absolutely wild abilities at its disposal. Dawnguard in general has some fantastic and challenging encounters. You will learn to fear high-level vampires if you're underleveled, and there's sections later with the Falmer which took me hours to slog through on stream. We even had to flee and return later to finish off Archcurate Vertha, and the Soulcairn has tons of new enemies and bosses to fight, and I think the Dremora might actually be up there with the most annoying enemies as they shift around you with invisibility. Bosses also have unique loot such as weapons, armor, and even spells and abilities specific to them. The Night Matron dropped a spell tome granting us a bat form power without having to become a vampire. This ability has an iframe and has saved my ass more times than I can count. I think it's time that I answer a question many keep asking me. Is LoreRim better than Nolvus or some of the Modlist? Well, the simple answer is, it's not a competition, it's a community. And they all have something unique going for them. LoreRim is a Modlist built on a Requiem foundation, and it strives to be lore-friendly, with power being earned rather than inherited. Many will try LoreRim and think it's too difficult and tedious, but I truly believe that this is a learning curve and is gated by the player's knowledge of Requiem and their willingness to relearn a 13-year-old game. As everything from progression, mission structure, dungeon design, environments, skill trees and abilities, and much, much more are often completely revamped. The visuals are also just stunning, but that is completely subjective. Personally, I think LoreRim is one of the best looking Modlists out there. It's subtle things though, like the statues of the Elder Scrolls Pantheon scattered across the landscape, or the ships sailing within Skyrim's lakes and seas that just bring the world to life. Arriving at Solitude's docks from the murky marshland of Morthal is truly a sight to see, and I guarantee there will be moments throughout your playthrough where you just stop to take it all in. It's worth noting that I'm using the default EMB, which is the custom tweaked cabbage, named Cabbage Biggie Cut, and the current version of this Modlist is 2.2, with 3.0 scheduled for early next year. I'd like to thank War Thunder for sponsoring this video, you legends. Don't forget you can play it for free on PC, PlayStation, Xbox or even mobile. To get your hands on some bonus goodies if you're a new or returning player, then use my link in the pinned comment or video description. Get yourself some premium vehicles and currency. It's available for a limited time only using my link, so don't miss out. That's it from me now. Thank you so much for watching, and a huge thank you to my relentless bastards over on Patreon. We'll certainly be back for round 3 in the future, so stay tuned, and ciao for now.